Now you can buy and sell the XRP Spot ETF. I want to talk about some of the first numbers we're getting in this video, as well as whether or not this is better than I thought it would be, and what it will mean for the price of XRP, ladies and gentlemen. This movie is 100% for you if you love numbers and want to know how this ETF stacks up against other ones, so make sure you stay for the whole thing. Your help is very much appreciated as always. Thanks a lot. Thank you to everyone who liked the movies and signed up for the channel. These two easy things help me a lot. Also, if you know of a good place to buy XRP, please let me know. You can find my favorite exchange, Uphold, in the video's description. So, let's get started right away. I also hope you all liked the material, but let's get right to it. The start of the first XRP Spot ETF. This thing broke some records and definitely went above and beyond what I thought it would be. First, I'd like to talk about something very important. I made a movie last night in which I talked about what I think will happen with the XRP SPA ETF. And I said that if it broke 5 to 10 million in sales, that would blow my mind and be more than I expected. Guys, the official numbers came in today, and it was 58.6 million. That's more than Solana's record-setting 57 million ETF. A lot of folks now ask me, why were your numbers so off? Why did you think it wouldn't happen? Guys, let's be honest, not many people know this. What we saw on the first Solana ETF is much bigger than Canary. I think Wise was the one who released the first Solana ETF. Bitwise has 30 times as much AUM as Canary, and a lot more people following them on social media. Hundreds of thousands of people follow them. Take a guess at how many people follow Canary? 10,000? Most likely, that's just people who already owned XRP following them because they're excited about the ETF and weren't even buying it. This number was much higher than I thought it would be. I was being cautious because I thought, look, not many people know about this issue since it's a small firm. That's for sure people will get excited about it, but it's not like they have clients worth billions and trillions of dollars and can call everyone and say, give us $1 billion here, give us $1 billion there. Yes? In fact, this was something that only organic markets would want, which was amazing. A lot of people were interested in this because, guys, guess what? This was the busiest day, one trading for any of the more than 900 new ETFs that came out this year. Records that are all over the place in every company. BlackRock, Fidelity, and the other biggest producers in the world didn't put out a single ETF this year that sold more than 1 million shares. Guys, that says a lot since it's not even January yet. We'll be here at the end of the year. That's 900. All of them lost to this one. The net amount of money coming in is about $250 million. Just remember that $250 million came into the most successful ETF of the year on its first day. We'll talk about how big that number is in a moment. Remember, guys, that this was from a small source, so big thanks to Canary Capital for this. Well, as I already said, 11,800 people follow you on X. To get the word out about these things, they didn't have much to work with. Plus, they broke all kinds of records. If BlackRock or Fidelity had put this out there, I think it would have done better than every other ETF they've ever put out there. For sure, I can't back that up with facts, but if you compare how well this did to other Solana ETFs and Bitcoin ETFs, it did very well. All of the other firms, like BlackRock and Fidelity, were just given warning, which is the most important thing to remember about that. We'll mess up if we don't do this soon. At first, if this ETF didn't get a lot of attention, it would be like, okay, we'll get to it, right? We might roll it out in the second quarter or the third quarter of next year. We're not missing out on a lot. They're missing out on things now. They are now sitting there asking their own boards, what the heck is going on? Why were you guys there? How could we have missed this? Would someone like to file in? We need to get this out as soon as possible. So, what an amazing beginning. So guys, I'm going to show you some papers. I tried to put them on notice a few months ago. It was this guy, Matthew Sigel, who is the head of VANC, who went on a show. He was saying, you know what, we're going to focus on Sol. We're not going to make an ETF for XRP. And I told him, hey man, just so you know, customer demand for an XRP ETF would be off the charts. The answer he gave me is a secret. I felt like he was telling me, I disagree with you. But guys, let's see how things turned out. As you all know, I had to let him know how that turned out. He would have made the most money with that ETF if he had listened to me, it turns out. They said no because they didn't know how things like that work. Oh, we don't care about XRP. They thought of the crypto program as a whole. And they missed the most successful launch in his company's history. Besides that, Van has a lot of fans, hundreds of thousands of them. They broke all kinds of records. This person then said, you know what? We are giving Solana top priority. I do not know what their Solana numbers were. They had Bitcoin and Ethereum numbers that were not even a fifth of what the XRP ETF did, but I couldn't find them. Over 30 million Bitcoin came into their account on the first day. Of those, about 50 million were put into the Ethereum one. This XRP ETF, which was made by no one, brought in $250 million. Guys, they were all just told what to do. That look is tough. He made some bad choices that cost him a small company that saw something I missed. If I were him right now, I wouldn't feel too good about those choices. It looks bad, and I think they're all going to be in a hurry to file these ETFs. What did they miss? A big thank you to Matt Hogan for this. Matt Hogan has been one of the good guys, and he works at Bitwise. For the record, Bitwise did not have the first XRP start. However, Matt Hogan has been promoting XRP, and I bet he wishes he had the first XRP ETF out there right now. Bitwise has set up an account. Theirs isn't ready yet. They have a chance. That being said, he did make the most important point, which people need to understand. The success of an ETF is not based on the average view of a crypto asset. It's better for 20% of people to really love an asset than for 80% of people to like it. Kind of, do not argue with ETFs. They die of apathy. Wow, that was a lot of writing. Let me break it down for you because this is one of the most important things about XRP. This is the most important thing about XRP that I talked about in my video about 10 things you need to know and understand to see why XRP is such a great asset to keep. There is a group behind XRP that is loyal and committed to the idea. There are people who will never even think about other coins, right? I believe they have a good reason not to do that. That's not here or there, though. It does not matter if they are right or wrong. A lot of people are really into XRP. When you have something like Solana or Sui, these are temporary things that come and go. They don't stick around. They're popular because their price is going up. Some people like them because they got there early, but they're not loyal or committed. The only reason they have it is to make quick cash and get rid of it. There isn't a long-term point. There's no long-term, I do not plan to sell this item because I need to hold on to it. That's what you had when Tesla was first starting out. That's what you had when Palantir, Nvidia, and Apple were all very new. And what people need to know about this ETF news is that it is straight proof of this. That sticky demand, that sticky base can only be made by fundamentals.